Just don't give men money. Just don't give men money. Then
Why?
you will have some form of stability on the spend because you use it the wrong way when you have it, but you want to cry when you don't have it.
You're saying banganamali akujoli. Mara manje nginemali wangilimit. Okay.
And if you can phuma elokishini. Kunempilo yaselokishini kunempilo engaphandle.
Be a man and say, this one is not working out for me, so I need to try another one. Right? Otherwise, you'd be a 50-year-old rapper in your mother's house.
Who's trying to make it?
I
rise, I fight, I win. What? Dark days can't hold me in. Yeah, no change.
Guys, welcome to another episode of, I'll ask Diane to mention it. Welcome to another episode of...
Oh.
We're older. Yes. Guys, we've got Diane around, we've got Kenny around, we've got Drew around, and we are really fortunate in that the guys group, which doesn't feature Diane, has moved to a platform that we can involve Diane in, right? Because we know that the gents WhatsApp group is a sacred place for men, right? It's a sacred place for Amachita to be who they are, talk as much smack as they need to. Everybody's sworn to secrecy. I hope there's codes and security involved in that WhatsApp group. Hey, it can turn into a messy situation. Yes. But yeah, we're back again with another hot episode full of topics. And as always, we've got very, very hot topics. We've got Matota, Please Help. We've got Be a Man, where we're going to unpack really what it means to be a man based on the topic that's at hand. And the Matota, Please Help is you guys sending us a DM asking us to help give you advice from a man's perspective, and obviously including our lovely guest Diane, who's going to weigh in and give you her perspective as the honorary gent in the group. But before that, let me ask everybody, how are you guys doing? How was your week? What made you happy? What made you sad? What made you angry? And I'll start with our lady first. Oh, by the way, you look very feminine today. Badla. Is satin or is silk? Satin, ne?
Yazazi.
I think I'm generally a happy person, but the one thing that sticks out is how many kids are going missing. And I think that actually guts me a lot because I think it's wild that kids just keep going missing every second day, every third day, and it's multitudes of kids that are just going missing. So I think it's just another call for the country, the world to actually wake up. It's a serious crisis. It's a spear crisis. It's what do you call it, Malcolm? Pandemic. It's a state of emergency at this stage, where kids are found at borders, being escorted by people.
Yeah. There was that case, but there was that case, I think it was a month, just before December kicked off, a few months ago, where I think a few kids were found in the Joburg CBD. There was, I think, an aspect of human trafficking was involved there, and it was kids. Yeah. So that's
saddening indeed.
That is that's a sad one indeed. So that I can understand how it made you sad. Mr. Drew.
Sure.
Hit us up, man.
Emotion. I was indifferent. That's
a good one.
I'll go with happy again. But this time it refers to work. So I've been working on a project for some time, and I think I recently officially kind of landed it. So I kind of had to, share the news with the broader audience to say that thing that we're working on, we've just delivered. So it's been a while since I delivered something that I started from scratch. So that kind of made me feel happy to say, hey, I got this, and I'm still capable of doing these things. So that actually made me able to land that project. It was quite exciting. So that.
And you're in that software development world, right?
Yeah. So in this space, it was a project we're running. We were moving some stuff around from a vendor or service provider, so we had to kind of move all the functionalities in house. But it was a lot of moving parts, and I was in the center of that. That was kind of exciting to have mobilized such a project to land. It was dope.
Yeah, it's very nice to have friends that actually, deliver
big
things.
things.
They do big
Yeah,
things.
do big
They're
things.
impactful in the spaces that they're in. So yeah, I like that. Nice one. Nice one. Big up, dogs.
Like what?
Effectiveness, right?
Effectivity.
Effectiveness is one of those.
Yeah.
Kenny,
Yeah, man.
Jayam.
Yeah, I can say this week has been an awesome week. For me, it's been challenging, but at least because I'm into the e-commerce space and also juggling the digital marketing space as well. It was quite challenging, but at least now I managed to find myself in a position where I've done well for myself. I think also because I have a mentor that has been giving me big ups in the work that I've been putting in. So I think that's what has been giving me so much motivation. I've been stressed so much, but with the people that I'm working with, they've been like, no, you've got this. So I think that's one thing that has been like, yeah, I know you're in the right track. So yeah, that's one thing that has been, I don't know the right word for it, but
It's
yeah.
giving happy.
Yeah,
Money.
It's fulfillment.
There's money there.
it gives me fulfillment,
That's
but
good.
for I know myself to be that kind of a person that wants to get something done and really get it done correctly. Yeah, because I didn't. I've done 99%, but because it's not 100%, it was like a downer for me. But I'm really happy because I managed to pull the punch. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice one.
Mina
Nice
tell
one,
you.
Jayam.
Yeah.
I know you have money.
Ah. No, let's not talk about mine.
Yeah, and I think on,
Yeah.
on my side, happy. I mean, since the year started, we now, we're a few months into a couple of months into the year. For me, what made me happy is, there's a post I saw and there's a post I saw and I posted on social media here and there that says something to the effect of be grateful when you are stressed or challenged by the blessings that you have received.
Yeah.
For me, that, sort of when I look at it and I looked at that and I was like, okay, yeah, you know what, the late nights that you'd work, or the early mornings that you work, and that project and that assignment that you need to do at school and whatever, all those things are all the things that I prayed for. I was like, when I was studying and unemployment was high, and I was like, ish, if I could get a job so I can work, man, and get paid, doing the things that I love. Now you are working, you're getting paid, and you're feeling the pressure of your job. That's a blessing. And you're making that money. Those debit orders are stressing you, but you are working in your blessing.
You can manage them.
You can manage them, and you're studying and you have the resources, etc., etc. So that was quite poignant. So it made me really happy to be in that space where you're walking your blessing, but you're stressed, but you're still walking your
You're
blessing.
still working.
Yeah.
I know that's still
Yeah,
working.
man.
Hope one.
Yeah.
As always, yazi musiphethe izinto ezimnandi. Ngiyaqala ngokuthi abantu abangaphandle bathini bashaye, they've hit us up. What's the translation of
I wonder.
they hit us up? Bashayele phezulu.
I wonder what the F was. You see?
Bashaya thina phezulu.
Bashaye phezulu, they hit us up.
How we supposed to fix it, please? Let's
I
say
don't
it
know.
right next time. No, I'm saying someone must help us.
Someone
fix
must
it.
help us. Yeah. Someone in this, give us the right term to say
Let's
it.
leave it
Let's leave it to
When
the
I
viewers.
put
Yes.
they hit us up, bashayele phezulu. And this person, right, is obviously the segment is called Matota, please help. And it's anonymous once again. It's fine, guys. You can stay anonymous, but if you will tell us who your name, what your name is, and your surname is on your social
Social
text.
text size kahle.
Sizokusiza kahle, as Katie mentioned, right?
Mhm.
So it says, hi, Mahrutman. I live at home, nabazali bam. I'm 32 years old with a decent job. I can afford to move out, but why should I? Uma uyangiphekela every day, angina bond. Uma uyangiwashela. No, she does a lot for me.
Mm.
My baby mama is getting frustrated, but I'm saving costs. Is it worth moving out to make my baby mama happy?
Okay.
Okay, I think I'll let Kenny Njayami weigh in on this one. Ina 32 le out.
32.
Benefits okubloma edladleni, obvious.
Yeah,
Uleli
yeah.
khona la kubhekela ngathi usesina 5 mara una 32.
Yes,
Yabona uyasave una bond, cabanga leza kwe ama
And you're
benefits
working a
yabo.
decent job.
Working a decent job lama chankro angena. Mara usester lo nengosi naye. You know, please umlethe roomini edladleni.
Yeah,
Right? You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
ukufakile pressure at Joe. Yenza iplan. Sithini kule outlay. What do we say to this guy?
Yo, my guy. Kule age okuyo, I think you are privileged. You are working. You have a baby mama. Not only just a baby mama, you also have a baby as well. I think it's wise for me as a gent. It's not like you're figuring your life out and stuff like that, but I think now you have the means ukuthi uqale eyakhe indlela and get your own space. And I don't believe in this thing yokuthi umama uyangiphekela ini. You have a wife that can actually do that for you. So I think you need to put yourself in a position where you are now being that provider that you said you wanted to be, more especially when you said you wanted to date this girl and now that you have a child. And then Nami, I don't believe ukuthi you would want your child to find themselves in that similar position that you are in. So I think it's wise, my king, for you to actually find your feet umdala kakhulu now. Yeah, honestly speaking, dala chief. So it was a different story if sabheda sasenteketeki, uyabo, but right now you have an option. So yeke already ne timer and figure your life out, because I think you will have the means, uyabo.
Mara uyasave ntana kana bond. I mean, yabona
Yeah,
in
but
Cyril's economy.
is he gonna save until he's 45? I think that's my question, because sometimes you get too comfortable in being taken care of. So only like until una 40. Yabo. So it's about time you take care of your wife, Ningos.
And actually, wife baby mom.
Yeah, baby mama, but
Potentially.
That's a job.
yeah, but okay, yeah, ichere yakho Ningos. So I think take care of your child, my king. Take care of your child.
Right.
Yabo.
Diane?
I have no issue with people living at home, number one. I just don't want to be in a relationship with them.
Sorry, was that love? Apologies.
No, I'm joking. I'm with Katie on that one, in essence, right?
Yeah.
If you can. Number one, also, I think maybe let's take a step back. Maybe he really does have a very cool mom over and above that, because when I was a specific age, I wanted to leave because I was tired of being told, go Wamla, right? So there's dynamics to Gugwamila. Maybe his mommy really isn't Gugwamila.
His mommy.
Not face like that.
His mommy.
Because it's his mommy. He's enjoying mommy privileges.
True.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the frustration from the girl, she's feeling that the mother's doing things I should be doing, maybe. You should
Honest
give me
coin.
the chance. Yeah. Give me the chance
Anyway.
to run this household.
Your household.
Especially if you can.
Yeah.
But I promise you, I have no issue with guys that live at home when the mental space they're in with their parents is a healthy one. If the house is big enough or the yard is big enough, I think it's there's a bonus. You don't need to hire a nanny. Your mom's there to sort of like watch. Or if the sister's there, and it also brings that it's like sometimes I really feel like sometimes we live too far from support structures, right?
Yeah.
That we have to now pay for, etc., etc. So if he's contributing properly at home and he's doing his part, I don't see there's a problem. But yes, as a female counterpart, I really will not be happy if I have to like wire. But yeah, I really have no issue.
Yeah, I mean, having looked at his stories, like, and I hope he's being wise in Maliaki, right? But having looked at his story, he's like Natiritul in Spanish grand. I'm not going to mention his name, but I've got a friend. This friend did not leave home until he was in his 30s, just like this guy. But and he was married. He got married and so on and so forth, right? But I think as the story goes, he managed to save so much that by the time he was in his early 30s, he was able to build a house in an estate
Oh,
and then move out. Right.
that's dope.
So there's two sides of I guess that kind of instance where you are at home and you have a plan and you've built or sold that plan to your partner, in case baby mama who doesn't. Lento le emele ihlangane because the outcome is this.
Yes.
That's the positive. But if it's not that scenario, yeah, dog.
Go home.
Umdala, like umdala, umdala.
Yeah.
You know, so you're old.
Yeah.
I think go stand on your. The longer your mother mothers you, right, becomes a problem.
Yes.
Right, it really does become a problem. There becomes an unhealthy balance where your mother, assuming uthi time alkhona or alikho. In this instance, if time alkhona below 32,
Yeah.
you'd be gone. So I'm assuming there's no dad.
Fast.
Hence, mom is holding on. But it creates a codependency for your mother to have you around. So she's not able to move on with her life. Ngoba she's got this baby who's 32 and etc. etc. But also, as in daughter, as you grow older, you become a young lion and you become a lion. And at some point, as a lion, uzobhodlela umamako, and she won't be able to know how to handle it. Right? So move out of home, ukwazi ukubhodla other lions and peers, and give your baby mama an opportunity for her to, if she wants to, show you her capabilities and build a family
Yes.
with you. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Mr. Mattel.
Sure. Okay. I I like the point you made about the financial, the plan there. He says he's doing well. He says he's planning towards something. We don't know what he's planning towards.
Yes.
So if the plan he has and he's spoken to his partner about, let's do this for this point, let's do this for now until I'm stable enough to do this, and she's keen, that's beautiful. As long as it's a plan. Pela, if he's doing it out of comfort, then that's a problem. I say this because
yes.
nothing challenges you more than responsibility. If you're too comfortable, that's gonna be you. You're gonna be stagnant there. So if you get out of your comfort zone and then you have a responsibility, you will grow yourself because you need to meet the challenge. They say boy math is getting something then working to afford it, which is true. If you give yourself responsibility, you push yourself to grow to make that responsibility ease. So he must not get too comfortable. As long as he's got a plan, he's good to go. Maravaya, independence.
Yeah,
I keep
fire.
allowing punch.
Avaya, ne? I think the consensus is vaya.
You can buy.
Yes.
Vaya.
You can.
And if you can, phume elokishini.
Aphume elokishini. Linani elokishini dog?
I think once you expose yourself to what is, I'm saying this from my personal experience. Kunempilo yaselokishini, kunempilo engaphandle. Impilo yaselokishini, I think abantu ozassociate nabo laphayana, they have a certain mindset compared to the mindset le onayo when you kind of like
When
try
you're
to
on your
move to
own.
the north, on when you're on your own, because you start to think differently because you're thinking independent. Unlike you thinking out of abantu laba engikhule nabo. You understand? So your comfort can be a really problem, but once you start to go out there and actually live your life in a certain environment, you start to think differently. Yeah.
Maravaya.
Nakavaya, ne?
Makabaya.
Vaya.
Via boy.
Vaya.
Vaya.
I think that's the best one, right? Stand on your own 2 feet as I think as a man.
Yeah.
Like Drew mentioned, if you raise the bar, you challenge yourself and you get it. So challenge yourself.
100%.
So guys, we're moving on to another meaningful topic. Not only are we shallow, judgmental, and fun, but at some points we are serious and we offer value to other men and also our viewers that are listening and want to either have teenagers, young men in their lives that they want us to impart some knowledge to. So on today's topic of be a man, the main topic of the day. So this section reads like this: what is the real impact of being a broke man? There's 2 components to this topic, but I want us to deal with this one, and then you'll understand why I move on to the second part of this. What is the impact of being of being a broke man? And I'll let the men speak before we let the ladies speak.
yeah,
In impact of by broke out.
yes. I don't know who's starting, but
Go for it. Again.
The impact,
creepy.
Look, I think it speaks for itself. Being a broke man, there's a lot that you can do more, especially if you're saying you want to be in a dating scene, because
Hey, Maruken ngithanda umjolo
Ngithanda
bafethu.
no,
Yonke into ibuya kumjolo.
no, wait,
I've told you this.
hey, Mara, no, guys, Mamelade, wait. Let me make my point.
That's why abantu basidla imali ngoba
Wait.
cha mesithola sifuna ukubapha bona.
Yeah, let me make my point, because why? If a man starts to make money, the first thing that he thinks of, I want to impress a woman. You understand? So I think being a broke man, there's a lot of things that you can't do when you're broke. There's a certain woman that you can't date because you're broke. There's a certain standard you can't set for yourself because you're broke. Thirdly, there's a certain lifestyle that you cannot live because you're actually broke. And it'll cause a frustration, it'll cause. There's people that have stress, more especially ikasi. There's a lot of people that are going through a depression because they're actually broke. They're just looking for like a decent job. Like, to us, 10K can be like a little, but 10K for umuntu osekasi.
Told you's got money.
You understand? You understand? And then there's a lot that he can do to impress abantu basekasi and also do for himself. So I believe ukuthi brokenness, ikhawatha amajita paya. And I think it's not only about being broke, it's about what are you willing to do to put yourself out of that situation. Because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We understand that being broke is really not nice, and all of us we've been broke. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I've never been broke in my life, but it's what it took for me to better myself for being broke to be in a better position that I'm in right now. You understand?
So can you before you move from
Yes.
there, when you were broke, what impact did it have on you?
What impact that it had? From family. I'll start there before Nyamu. Bangakhala ngento encane, just like a small thing. For the fact yokuthi you do not have that capability yokuthi, say for instance, bafuna i-east yokwenza idombolo.
Abanye bayibiza i-yeast.
Yeast?
Yeah.
Mara abanye bayibiza i-east.
So you understand?
Opposite of West.
It's you understand? So if you can't afford that on its own, yeah, kawata.
And ipondo writing.
And the ipondo. So and the little pondo lelo, it's a lot for someone else also kaswazi you would say I can't just get the lump sum money. So it's kind of kawata in a way you know you're not in a position that you want to be. Ukuthi manje ungakwazi to provide that the way you want to actually provide. So
Big one.
Gula is kawata kona kakhulu. So being broke more, especially if you're a agent in the economy that we are in right now, idinga ukuthi for you to work harder. So I can say ukuthi it's not nice being broke. I think you also need to weigh your options now. Okay, ngila manje, where do I want to see myself 5 months from now? Don't measure it in years, because if you measure it in years, it's gonna take you a long time. But work from where you are at right now, from lelo pondo lelo ngenalo to at least eclip ongaba nalo Friday.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned something really, really meaningful. To say, Wuti, the effect that it has on a man is your ability to provide.
Yes.
Or even more.
Kahle.
Even more. I think poignant is your ability to contribute.
Yes.
But if you don't have anything to contribute, there, I think there's another level of erosion in your dignity and your self-respect, especially if you're like umuntu omdala. There's a level of dignity and erosion that really happens to your character.
Yes.
And it messes with your mind.
It does.
You know, as a man, I think it messes with your mind. It's not Guti, here's Naimali for everything, but the fact that you can't say here's a bit for the bit that is required really messes with you.
Yeah, no, it does. It will. And it will always will.
Mr. Mattel.
I'll go a little deeper on this one. What if we are deeper? Okay, so there's provision, which is obvious. As men, we are expected to provide. In fact, that's the kind of thing we teach our children today. To we're out. At some point, you'll be dependent on.
Yeah.
That's a standard, whether you like it or not. It's what is expected of us as a gender. We are the providers. We are the protectors, right? So, but there's this thing that I've also heard is which it's hurtful, but it's true. A man without resources, uh, seldom has a voice. So in society, the guy that does not have evidence of provision is not heard. Mara,
Yeah.
if you go to a gathering, yabantu abadala, the guy that is known to not be a provider does not have a voice. So if we need to do something for umphakathi and you can't provide money, your voice is also gone. You don't have a voice if you don't have resources. Because we need, hey guys, we need to, even I'm a family gathering. It was a horrible joke I heard once. But see, you know that you are the not so okay uncle if we're having a discussion and it can start without you. Because they don't need you there. You're not going to bring resources, so your voice does not matter. If you don't have resources as a man, you seldom have a voice because a voice is nothing without it being backed up by provision.
Yeah.
So maungana mali, I don't have a voice, and that's very painful.
Sure.
Who doesn't want to be heard? You know, so it's.
I mean,
it's a hard one.
that's painful. That's really painful.
No, I felt
because
that one,
it sounds like one is associating the value of a man to money.
Of course, provision. It's
And if you do not
Painfully
have
so.
it, that means there is no value
Yeah.
as a man,
But-
which is sad. It's actually quite sad.
It is. But the reason why I threw in the word resources ideally is because Emakar, it's not just money that speaks, it's what you do bring to the table, right? You could be
Yeah.
the guy that is the best herder. You do bring something to the table that others need. That's a form of provision. You guys, I'm the main, my gift to you, my resource to you might be my skills. But you need to be able to bring something. It just so happens that in this day and age, what you bring is going to be financial because everything else we don't need you to do. We can pay for.
Oh yeah.
So money becomes that resource, but you know, it's your voice is linked to what you're going to do about it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like we don't have a lot of doors as men to associate or link our value to our value and our contributions. There's like one or two doors
Sad.
available to us. And without going into the topic of how women are valued, regardless of what they bring to the table as far as resources, their options are abound. There was something that I read, and for the life of me I can't remember it, but it alluded to that a woman is the only, I guess, type of person that is accepted just for being.
Unconditionally.
Just as a woman, just for being, you are accepted, whether you bring anything or you don't bring anything, whether you are this character or that character, there's value that is sort of associated to you and you're accepted.
Yeah.
Whether you contribute or you don't contribute, you're accepted. Whether mncane, umdala, you are useless, you are useful, there's value that is associated to you.
Yeah.
To a man, there isn't. So that, I mean, that's sad on its own.
So much is expected from men. So that is the reality.
Diane, I mean, you obviously not
Or a female.
you're definitely not a man.
Not a female.
I see it, yeah.
So you're definitely not a female, but you have male figures around you, and just taking from the topic of what do broke men really go through? What's your perspective?
I was actually gonna echo on what Drew was saying in terms of not having resources takes away your voice as a man somehow. Right. So I've always been an advocate for broke men matter too, kind of thing. Because
You heard it from a female.
this is why they call me a pick me. No, but I mean there's value in seeing somebody beyond what they can monetarily contribute, right? I know a range of a gang, in fact, we can call them a gang of what the world deems broke, right? Are you broke because you're broken, or are you broke just because of money? And I think that's like a very important part because I've often heard people say, "Funa siswe ngawe ngoba unemali," you know, which is also another cry for, like, if you thinking you have resources doesn't actually mean you have the answers.
100%.
Right? So I've always been an advocate for let everybody speak at the table. You know, I want to hear your opinion, whether you're contributing to Bob or nothing.
Yes.
Also,
Oh, yeah.
you might add value that like, or add a feature or something that we would have not thought about in essence. So I've always been like that. But the impact of being broke as a man in this day and age is quite huge because like the guys alluded to, no one wants to date a guy with no money or resources. And if you do give them a chance, um, you get harshly judged by society. More so, it's even worse if a broke guy cheats on you, kind of thing, right? Like it's almost like if a man with money does it, it's okay. Like if I'm not crying from a mention, you know, people like wipe my eyes with 200. So there's like that stigma as well that comes with being in a relationship with a broke guy, and then he still does you dirty. You know, so like there's also like the other side of they deserve.
They deserve-
they deserve.
So
But I think yeah, if it's a tough one for guys already. It's even worse when you're also fighting against that in terms of like, okay, I want to start. Some people start their life at 50. You know, they get their first job at 50.
yeah,
you
no,
know?
100%.
So if you pour them with negativity, who wants to wake up if you're already being told you can't speak Tula when you don't have money, kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm really.
It's-
yeah.
I mean, it's a really sad situation, right? If the only, like I mentioned before, the only association or value that a man brings is money. I think we need to broaden the options of it, and I like that phrase that you put out, and I'm paraphrasing, but you said something like broke men are valuable too, something to that effect, right? That's cool. I think that's really, really good. I think our ability to be men must and cannot only be hinged on our ability to provide
Yes.
money,
Financially.
right?
Yes.
We all live in Cyril's economy. We've got high unemployment rates amongst youth, even adults. So if they can put, and like those specific men, if they can't put money on the table, where do they get their value from? We need to start creating spaces where you're like, no, just because you cannot give money and provide money,
Doesn't mean you
there's other value that you can bring. What is that value? You know, be present for your family. You know,
protect.
and protect. I mean, I think about all the kids or some of the kids that grew up without a father. In hindsight, they don't say, yeah, futhi babami and azange ngiphe 5,000 or angithengelela ama-Jordan lawa ngicela, right?
It was present.
It was presence,
Yeah.
you know. Those that did not grow up with fathers, as an example, will crave the presence of umzali.
Exist. Yeah.
Your presence is something that you can bring to the table if you do not have, as an example, resources or financial resources.
Oh, yes.
That's your value also as in daughter. So let's start exploring those options so that we can bring them to the table and add value.
You don't need money to lead. Yeah, you don't.
But unfortunately, you do need money to get the opportunity to lead.
Why do you
That's
need
the
money?
worst side. So I'll go back to resources because now it's intact. Back in the day, right?
Yes.
Well, it's still alive now, but back in the day we used money less, right? So let me give it to you in context. We're speaking about having a family, having to raise kids. Back in our day, you can't marry, you can't take on a wife without resources. In other words, 100, but it's still resources that your surname owns. It is your surname's. It is your surname's kral. It is their resources that they're giving to you so you can take on a wife.
Yeah.
So you still needed that, right? So in order for you to have a partner, in order for you to have a child to be present for, you needed to have resources. So I'm agreeing with you saying we need to look at men more than just what they can bring to the table, because i.e. the presence, you could be an amazing dad, an amazing teacher, but no one's going to give you an opportunity because they won't see that first. They'll look at, will he feed me? Because fear is a way stronger emotion than most.
Yes.
So if someone is afraid to
I
be in
agree
poverty
with you
while with you,
100%.
you're not going to get that opportunity.
Yeah.
She needs to be fed. So the basics need to be covered. And sometimes it doesn't look at how wealthy you are, just basic provision. I will give you a place to, I will feed you. That opportunity should suffice, right? We're not talking about you should be rich to be a man. No, just society expects us to provide, and
Yeah.
that comes with resources, unfortunately.
Yeah. Can I add on to what Drew is also saying?
Mm.
I think that society that we live in right now, that's what it's expecting from men. Whether you like it, I think that is the number one thing that should tick the box. If you don't tick that box, there's another guy that can actually easily tick that box because why already has that provision that we're looking for. So there's not much grace when it comes to broke men because why? Most people won't look at them as people that should have the voice, as the person that has all the resources, and then can be like, you know what? Here are my resources, here's what I can provide. That person is more listened to compared to the guy that is actually broke. Even though the guy that has all the thinking, even though he doesn't have the finances, but he has
The potential is there.
the potential is there.
Yeah.
You understand? When you shouldn't sleep on those people because that's why most people would say, "Eish, I was saying, come on, there's cutting so much." It's because they don't have resources.
They're not looking at those men.
Yeah, they're not looking those men, but yeah.
I mean,
Unfairly, man.
there's you know, when you drive past a lot of the streets in Johannesburg, and you look at who the homeless people are.
I was thinking about talk about those signs.
The homeless people are amadoda, you know. So I think even from a societal responsibility perspective, as a society, as a government, as social structures, I think we really are disenfranchising amadoda, right? Because a man can lose his job, his ability to contribute financially
Yes.
this month, and be on the streets begging, homeless, the next month or 2 months thereafter.
Yeah.
Why was he not caught by the people in his life, in his family? Why was he not caught by governmental structures? Guze ashai rock bottom. The reason why I think you don't see women, too many women, a lot of women, on the road begging is that somebody catches them when they lose their job. It's either another man, it's either their family, but there's
Yeah.
somebody there willing to risk it for them, but nobody's willing to risk it
Urgent.
or save in order, which is, for me, makes me sad. You know, if you're raising boy children, what are we, when we saying to boy children, go strive, be excellent, we want the best for them.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen and he loses his job and he gets retrenched or the business bombs, does that mean Guti is going to go all the way to the bottom and no one is going to save him or care to save him because he has no value?
Fair enough.
In society.
It's sad. I find it sad.
Yeah, no, I do find it very sad myself because so much is expected from men. Whether you are down, up, we are turned out hand, so much is still expected from you. So being a man is really tough, but I think there's a thing in me that is saying, Wuti, that's how we were built to go through hardship. And that's part of it.
But
You understand? But
no, I'm saying but
oh yeah. At the end of the
It's the
day, that is the challenges, men, that we are facing because the world, honestly speaking, no one gives a damn about how a man feels. People give a damn about what you can provide.
Just sounds sad. Why are you depressed?
Well, it's not. No, it's not depression. It's
Young
how
depressed.
it's how the society expects us to show up.
Show up.
Whether you like it or not, you need to show up as a man.
Okay, cool.
No emotion involved.
I accept it's in the Bible.
Yeah, it's not the point.
So-
I hate a dog.
I accept what you guys are saying, that ideally men must be able to rise to the occasion and do what needs to be done, right? But unfortunately, the reality of it is saying things like, from a literacy perspective, men are falling behind females from a literacy at
Once
grade
you get
level,
into that,
right?
that's beautiful.
From a high school matriculation perspective,
Yeah.
less boys are matriculating than females. When you get to varsity, less boys are graduating than females. When you look at the economy that we live in, high unemployment, predominantly amongst males, right? So from a systematic perspective and a process perspective, the pipeline the value
It's
chain
not catering.
is not catering to the development of men. So you have this idea, man, you must, man, you must, man, you must. But the reality of it, there's so many challenges here that require a man to be equipped, saved, whatever the case might be, right? So for any, or for the guys, young men that are in that situation where they know ukuthi ngiglomile ntwana nga 22, nga 25, whatever the case might be, ideally ngiyazi ukuthi kumele ngihlanganise something. But the reality is you are barely past matric, fine ngibambe isikolo, or either graduated or I didn't graduate, ngibambe itoknyana, mara izinto azihlangani the way, or azihlangani at all. What advice are you giving that cat, that young lion, that young man, to say ukuthi i-value yakho ikuphi? Where should it be, homeboy? Where should it be?
Can I just say something before you even answer that, right? And I think it pertains to men falling behind, right?
Sure.
As a girl, if I see that what I'm doing now is not working, there's going to be a thing inside me that says, let's try something else. Some men don't. Some men want to be rappers. Yeah, they want to bambazel to the dream that they had in
They want to be
1999.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to be a bomb rapper. Baba yoseba, yo, my man. We are one who's like a woman singing gomazako. But like Sasu says studio. And they don't have that threshold of, okay, this is not working, let me try something else. You know, whereas with the females, if this relationship is not working, already I'm trying to, you know, you're moving, you're thinking on your feet the whole time. And I think that's part and parcel of why men are falling behind. Secondary to that, it's mothers.
It's mothers. Mothers.
It's mothers.
Finds another mom.
It's mothers. Bombe.
Bombe.
Bombe. No, I think bombe contributes a lot to men falling behind because they want to baby somebody even in the toughest situation when like, oh, no, throw that person in the street, let them go swim with the sharks, you know. There's jobs that people won't do, you know, why it doesn't fit my aesthetic. Be a dagger boy, dog. Like go there, go into a construction space, go fight the fight. Because ultimately you are nobody's trying to save you, and you've seen that nobody's trying to save you. You know, so you can't be picky as well. And I think that's the problem. Like you don't have a threshold of suffering. That's the problem. If you don't have a threshold of suffering, you're going to sit in that situation, you're going to be 50 at home, becoming an alcoholic because you're realizing that nobody's trying to save you except to give you liquor.
Damn, Jesus.
Yeah, no.
I know.
Yeah, I mean that's legit, right?
I totally agree.
Save yourself type of thing, but also, yeah, I mean what you mentioned resonates in the sense so Uti, the reality of the world and the reality of our society namhlanje, and your life in particular, young gent that's listening, says that the ideal that you're aspiring to, right? Sometimes the ideal that you're aspiring to might not be practical for your own situation or the situation that you're in, right? So as an example, I'll use a flippant one. By the way, all dreams are valid, right? But they also dreams sometimes. Ne?
Yeah.
So if you want to be a rapper and you can sing, this rapping thing is not coming together and it's not putting food on the table. And if your objective is to put food on the table, maybe the rapper line is not for you, you know? Hambu yoba umadaga boy, hambu yo daisa ma veg, ama fruit, whatever it takes
To get you there.
to get you there, because that's at the end of the day, you want to put money, you want to put things on the table so that you can bring value to the mix. So do what you need to, be cognizant and be a man and say, this one is not working out for me, so I need to try another one. Right? Otherwise, you'd be a 50-year-old rapper in your mother's house.
Who's trying to make it? Who's trying to make it?
Wearing a snapback.
Baggy pants.
Yes. But once again, all dreams are valid, but once again, it's a dream. Reality is something else.
Yes.
Ken,
Snapback.
what advice would you give? What advice, in brief terms, would you give to a man who's in that situation?
I mean, in that situation, I can say explore other options, Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because I think that is so important, because for you to, okay, you have plan A and plan A is actually not working. You are there in the mic rapping, but still you're not getting that deal. Find something else that can sponsor this thing and also sponsor other things in your life, more especially about yourself. If when I was win again, when I was self, put yourself in a position where you know Uti, you can be happy, and then I have this dream that I am also pushing while I'm also pushing other things. Yeah, well, because if you are on
I like that. I like that.
focusing on the mic alone, is gonna eat time.
And you know, the reason why nginganga that piece of advice, right?
Yeah.
It's saying practically, lobu rapper lobu buyangibhayizisa, or
Yeah.
I'm not realizing my dream at the time that I
Oh,
want
I
to
still
realize
love
the
it,
dream.
and
I
it's
still
not
love it,
popping
right?
out the way I do. Let
Yeah,
me make it a
but-
hobby.
You know, exactly. But
Yeah.
you know what you pointed out was ngaithanda writing. I love this thing, but it's not taking me to where I want to be in the time that I need to be. Awuthi ngishaye itoho lana or ngispane lana.
Yeah.
Yabo, ngoba lama resources lawa, then at least I'm able to afford a bit more studio time.
Yes.
Right? I'm able to invest in my craft with this 9 to 5 that I have. And you
Yes.
find a way to bridge these two dreams because you are now sowing seed into your dream. But at the same
100%.
time, you are as a daughter able to say, look, this is what I can do firstly for myself, money, resources to build my life and also to add value to the lives of the people that are in my
100%
Yeah.
easy. You just
Love it.
even explain it
I love it.
proper. Yeah.
We have friends with that exact same example. I mean, we've got friends. One of our mates who the director. He was a man with a dream for the manyest of years, but he went into to the point that you made. He provided resources that are going to feed his dream. The dream was not going to feed anything, so that by itself doesn't work for you, right?
Yeah.
So he went and did this till this could feed this, and then he was like, okay, this now works. Let's run with this because I
played
fed it
both.
with the resources. Dreaming alone was not going to get him where he is right now. You know, so that's just the practical example of someone that did it. You know, so yeah, you need to do too. If do what you can feed your dream, but your dream also needs resources to be fed.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah. Do what needs to be done, man. Yeah?
But
Do what needs to be
then
done.
also you know, you have options as a girl, and you invest in the options. Guys, the only options guys care about is females. They don't think, oh, my dream also needs a second option and a third option and a fourth option. So you tend to focus on the wrong things for too long.
Oh, guys, that is kind of a fuzz. Too much.
Too much.
Our focus.
Yes.
And
Until it's too late.
Until it's too late.
Yeah.
Now 20, 30 years, this business of fuzz. I'm dreams I show.
I never
To quote a Zulu rapper, don't give women money. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He said it. He's a rapper who made it.
He's a rapper
and
who
he
made
said, Me, I don't give them money.
Yeah,
Kevin C.
I know what you're talking about, dog.
He says, I don't give them money. He does. You know? But yeah.
I mean, there's nuggets in that, right? There's nuggets in that in the sense of which, in one of the episodes that we recorded, David, when I was talking about, I think I was talking about muscles and all stuff like that. Type of thing, right? I think it's really important for guys also to focus on your dreams, right? And focus on your ability to create resources for yourself. Young men, labocheri laba babhaya baphela and angabaqedi.
Never.
When I focus on your dreams, what's that saying that says? I think like to teenagers, there's this saying that says, "Hlukana namantombazana," because your wife and your partner is still in primary school. Yeah, still in primary school.
PDF.
Yeah, still in primary, right? Now, no, we're talking about teenagers, like you're 14, you're 13, your partner is 6 years younger than you. She's in primary school. On a 8 or on a 7.
When you know how many years?
When you're 13, you are 13. No, I'm not talking. Oh, by the way, there are some gents that are out there with a 15, 20-year-old gap as adults, right?
Yeah, of course.
Which means that when they were 25, their person was almost
being born.
non-existent, right? But I'm talking about teenagers here, just to make it PC.
Like, what you have now is not everything.
Yes,
what to grow.
You know that Diane that you are seeing, they're still growing. So focus on your dream. And then by the time
yeah,
my size, like something I used to say, pick the benches.
pick the highest.
Yeah.
No,
Not that
pick
low.
the
I think
highest
sometimes
pension.
less stress we are staying as out gents. Look, less stress, less. So I think that's the stress that can propel you to actually be a better man. Because sometimes a man needs like that push. That push doesn't come from comfort; it comes from hardship. And once you receive that hardship, it's against it push that direction. Oh, Moisaba from the get go for you to actually find yourself in a better position to be like, oh, okay, this wasn't really hard. It's just me that I was just menges valela. You understand? But at the end of the day, we push, man.
Yeah. So, young men, to the young lions out there, to the gents, to the fathers, I think let's and to the mothers and to the women also, let's help define value for what men are.
Yeah.
If a man's value is just in what resources he brings, that could be your son who loses his job, falls all the way to being homeless, a beggar on the side of the road, because there was no other level of protection that you contributed to creating for him, so that he sees his value in other spaces.
Beyond,
And for men, let's also not be, although the stoic thing is to say, man, learn how to provide, make sure you get it right, which is right. When it doesn't go according to plan, look at your life and don't be one-dimensional. Look at your family and your family's needs. They're not only just financial. There's also presence that is required with your family, with the young people in there. You can coach, mentor your little cousins. That's adding value, and it doesn't cost you a cent. So look at those places where you can add value today. It's also going to make you a little more fulfilling. But I think that's a deep topic. I think let's continue the discussion. Yeah, continue the discussion on social media, guys. It doesn't end here. Let's carry on with that discussion and hit us up with your issues, particularly on the value of men and what the value of men today should be. Yeah.
One better. If you're a man without resources, tell us your experience.
Tell
Like
us your experience.
what has it done to you? What can you tell others that I do? Like,
And
this is
also-
what's done for me as kid. But
Yeah.
just give us your perspective.
And also,
Let's hear it from you.
and also, where do you feel you need help so that you can be a better man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice one. Hey, there's been a lot of stories that stuck out and had been sticking out. I mean, we can pick them zip higher, whether locally or internationally. But I think we've all heard the name Epstein, right? Yeah, we've all heard the name Epstein. Epstein, linye time nje, yabo, linye time abili, these nabantwana abancane allegedly. And yeah, he took his own life at some point, maybe Sebembamba, once he got caught.
They say.
Yeah, well, and they also managed to track down some of his emails, and there are many associations to Epstein and his network. It seems like yabona muqabanga ukuthi who are the controllers and the runners of the world. He had access to the controllers and the runners of the world. He managed some of their wealth, allegedly. So in the news recently, it's alleged Jay-Z, our own Jacob Zuma is referenced in the Epstein files.
Guys.
Robert Mugabe is also referenced. I mean, in what sense, we don't know yet, but he's referenced in there. And obviously the Clintons and a few, many other first-grade individuals and people of society that we claim to respect in aspects of money and aspects. Some of them are unsavory, also in instances of like pedophilia. I'm not too sure which names are linked to that specifically, but it's a wild world. What do you feel about this wild world that we're living in? Just
Opinion.
Just opinion.
Okay.
Just for 1 minute, 30
Okay.
seconds, not too long, 30 seconds.
It's not. So I would say a huge fan. That sounds weird, but I think one thing more interesting than conspiracy theories is conspiracy theorists. The people that come up with these things and give us this perspective, it fascinates me. So I kind of dug into this a little bit just to think about where does it come from? I mean, at first it was a conspiracy. We think they're doing this And then those theories came out to be true because they knew something. And then the facts came out. Oh, it's actually true. So I dug a little deeper into one of them because I was very fascinated. And it is said that this bread, he's apparently was, again, my opinion from the information I've come across is he was a spy. He was a spy.
CIA spy, no?
Crazy, yeah. No, Russian spy.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was.
With the theory
Right.
coming across as so they wanted to control the powers that be. And one thing people tend to fall for is pleasure. So what they did was they fed to their weaknesses and they gave this man, they took all the powers that be and said, I want you to entertain these people and have something on them. I want you to have dirt on everyone. We might need to influence at some point.
Sort of
So
like
apparently that's where it came from.
sort of like Diddy, because Diddy used to
Yeah.
record his
Yes.
his
To have leverage on
sexual exploits
Yes.
with other people
Yes.
as well as his I don't want to say friends, but his friends, and record them and be
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I got evidence.
So what this guy was doing was something very similar, but for the powers that control him to say, we're going to need to influence these people at some point. So when it's our turn to need that favor, we'll pull up this information that we have on them. So apparently it's around that. Because I mean, it's very specific. It was the people that control certain things that were involved in this. It was not just your laymen's. It was people that were very influential that was impacted. So it was around controlling influence, apparently. That's crazy.
I heard something this past week, and it was because this guy was also a wealth manager to presidents and so on and so forth. When Zimbabwe was going through the currency crash, there's an email that said, or an email from one of his associates, this is Epstein's associates, that says, let's reach out to Mugabe and see if he wants to put in another currency in the country. I mean, that's high level stuff. I mean, that's big stuff. If you can write an email to Epstein and say, let's reach out to a president and let's put in another currency into that country, you're talking macro level effects on the world and on particular countries. That's macro level stuff. It's not as totally tender. No, it's like let's put in a country, a currency, and establish it. That's powerful stuff. So this guy clearly had like a lot of reach, a lot of power. It's
I think also this is what happens when you have a substantial amount of money because you have so it goes back to, I like these conversations because why? From being broke to actually having money. Once a man comes from being broke, once he starts to have money, he starts to have to want to control. You understand? Because he never had that control to begin with. And I understand the layer of power layer angenayo as I say broke, and once he starts to have it, he wants to control everyone. So I think that's a very fucked up way of looking at it because
can we complete that? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. But yenza ukuthi umuntu onemali aqale ukontrola abanye abantu. So that's why ngithi iprivilege yendoda mawungenamali ayibonakali, but once you start to have money khana la ibonakala khona, and that's where you start to show your true colors ukuthi okay, this is what I can do when you have money. And then this is what I want to control.
And it's almost like it's the natural evolution of self-actualization, right?
Yeah.
Because it says Guti, and not the principle of self-actualization, but the theory of it, right? It says it would say Guti, now that I have money, and because you are so rich, there's only so many Bugattis you can buy and drive. There's only so many companies you can have, or so many hotels you can buy. You can only buy one big yacht that's 800 meters, whatever the case might be. Then it becomes now I need power because you can buy everything. Now you start wanting power, right? And power means how do I control people? How do I influence global agendas? That's the next level. And you can see it a lot. You can even see it with people that make so much money that they buy newspapers or they buy social media. That those people have a tool to control particular propaganda, rhetoric, and so on. So it's a natural progression, and it's a dangerous, to a point, a very dangerous projection. Diane, any points you wanna land on Epstein?
in so much as also pertaining to the conversation we were just having, in so much as it's a cry for help for men when they don't have money, it's also a cry for help when men have too much money. Yeah, my
Gonna
thing is
dominate.
just don't give men money. Just don't give men money. Then
Why?
you will have some form of stability on the spend because you use it the wrong way when you have it, but you want to cry when you don't have it.
No, it's not all of us. Someone has nothing to do with it.
I think the more money you have, the more playing ground you think you have, and the worse it becomes. But nothing stays hidden, and that's the big problem. All of them were there doing the most, thinking it's never gonna come out. But look at today.
Martin, I think I also read something that said, when you give, the impact of money, ne? When it sits with a woman, it helps the family, right? Yeah, but it stays within almost like the nuclear family type of thing. When you give money to a man, he helps his family and other people.
Yeah, communities.
So I'm must get money, right? Because there's other homes, other people. Maybe the students that need. I read this on the social things, but it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
no.
no.
We are
I
distributing it.
understand.
What?
Yeah.
Diane,
There's
you
only
look so cute.
much- There's
Ten
only
tau.
so much
Huh?
that you're going to give to the communities, right? The majority of it, and you're also giving to the communities because you're creating a sense of control in essence that I can do what I want.
Dependency.
Yeah, you're creating dependency. So it's not like you're
Ooh, I
using
like
it
that
to
actually.
empower. No, you're not.
Nespas.
When you want
1,000 rand.
Nah,
5,000.
No, when you want
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's like
yeah.
you're using money in the most. We paid.
We paid.
Yeah, we paid. I'm not my paid actually.
On that note.
No, Mara,
On that note.
she's saying the truth.
No, we're not going to end
Okay.
on the note that you're going to affirm which I'm
I'm okay. They're my man.
No. It
No.
was correct, Jam. Not camera. Correct.
Look, yes.
No.
yes, yeah.
To be correct. Here's the young mama and Machita. Here's the thing about us men. I'm still gonna go back to the point that I made. Yabana in Tomazana, when she's still figuring her life out, she feels Uguti, I can still settle for this guy. But once she feels Uguti, you know what? I'm in a position where I know Uguti, I can get this weave, I can do what. Now I afford to be in a certain caliber of men. You understand? Same applies to us guys. Once we have a substantial amount of money, look at how much we can control. So look at it from a better perspective. I'm not saying Uguti, it's only women that are baddies. Only us, we can be very bad. Because why? Our baby influence lies on what? The substantial amount of how many people we can control when we have money.
That's it.
Yo,
I want to so bad.
it's so true. I know you wanna before I close that. Again, boy, say your thing. Say your piece.
So to the point that we made earlier on, so remember when we were having for some reason this became a very resource-based discussion.
Yeah.
But towards the beginning, we spoke about how a man that has nothing can't have a partner.
Yes.
Why do we limit the one that has resources to only one? So what we can do is you're saying "Bawana mara chuli." Mara manje na mara limit. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate but true. The same society that says a man that has nothing should not have a partner should not limit the man that has a lot to have more than one, for example. I'm not saying it's ideal, but that's where the logic is. So you need to be fair as a society. 0 means 0. 30 means what?
Yeah.
Look at it like that.
That's a hot topic, and I actually want to continue the conversation on social media. But yeah, very hot topic. Let's continue on social media. But on that note, guys, I want to say thanks for tuning into the podcast. Like I said, once again, it's that group chat that has moved onto a podcast. And as always, it's been fun.
Yeah.
We've judged, we've made fun, but we've also tried to add value to the men's voice.
Yes.
Bafethu, tune in. See you guys in the next episode. Makube njalo.
Oh, shit.
Jalo.
Cut that out. Cut that out.